Anxiety in modern society is the silent epidemic that's threatening our children. Imagine a silent predator lurking in your child's bedroom, a predator that doesn't break in through a window, but rather through their smartphone, a predator that doesn't leave physical bruises, but leaves them trembling with fear, unable to sleep, and questioning their worth. It's called anxiety, and it's not just a feeling anymore. It's a modern day epidemic that's stealing the health and happiness of millions of our kids. Today, I'm going to reveal 5 of the most shocking facts about anxiety in modern society that every parent must know. Because if we don't take action now, the mental health crisis our children will face becomes an unstoppable force, one that even the best doctors in the world can't heal. So buckle in. This is going to be eye-opening. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it just might save a life. Fact number 1. The epidemic starts young. Did you know that 1 in 3 teenagers today suffers from an anxiety disorder? That's over 30% of adolescents, many of them struggling in silence, afraid to talk about it. But here's the scariest part. Symptoms can start as young as age 6 years old. That's the age when children should be playing with toys, learning to read, and exploring the world with curiosity, not worrying about grades, bullying, or social media likes. And it's not just happening somewhere else. Right here in our own communities, I have patients who have kids that can't sleep at night because they're afraid of not being good enough. Think about that. Children losing sleep because of worry that's been amplified by the pressure of modern life. Studies show that if left untreated, these early symptoms can snowball into depression, school avoidance, substance abuse, and even suicidal thoughts. If we don't catch it early, it can really shape the entire course of a child's life. Fact number 2, social media is a super spreader. Let's talk about social media. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat are designed to hook your child's attention and keep them scrolling. The average teen today spends between 4 and 6 hours a day on social media. That's nearly a full-time job of comparison, envy, and fear of missing out. University of Pittsburgh researchers found that young adults who spend more than 2 hours a day on social media are twice as likely to develop anxiety symptoms compared to their peers. Imagine what that means for a 14-year-old girl comparing her body, her clothes, her friends, her likes to influencers who curate their entire lives for maximum envy. Remember, I'm a surgeon, not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but nonetheless, I've had many patients tell me my son is moody, withdrawn, doesn't talk to us anymore. When we look deeper, we see his phone is filled with negative comments, social pressure, and constant reminders that he doesn't measure up. In such cases, I always refer young people like this to a qualified therapist for evaluation and help. Social media isn't just a distraction, it's a super spreader of anxiety and self-doubt, a machine that makes sure no matter how perfect your child is, they never feel good enough. Fact number 3, anxiety is changing the brain. Anxiety isn't just a feeling, it's a biological force that can physically alter your child's brain. Chronic anxiety floods the brain with stress hormones like cortisol. High cortisol levels can shrink the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's responsible for decision making, impulse control, and rational thought. It's likely anxiety is hijacking the pilot seat and replacing your child's wise captain with a frantic, panicked one. Brain scans show that the amygdala, the brain's fear center, becomes hyperactive in children with chronic anxiety. That means they're more likely to perceive danger, even a safe situation, and that cycle of worry feeds on itself. This rewiring makes them more sensitive to stress and more likely to react with fight, flight, or freeze rather than thinking things through. Remember, what we call rewiring isn't just an expression to describe the brain functioning differently. I mean, there is a physical anatomical change in the brain's neuroanatomy, with brain cells connecting differently with new and complex synaptic interconnections. This is a real thing, not just a theoretical idea. Think about what this all means for school, friendships, and family life. An anxious brain is a brain that's constantly on alert, unable to rest or focus. It's a brain that's struggling to learn, connect, and grow. And the longer we wait to intervene, the more permanent those changes can become. We're not just dealing with temporary stress. We're talking about lasting damage to the architecture of the mind. Fact number 4, schools are not equipped. We send our kids to school hoping they'll learn, thrive, and grow. But here's the really terrifying truth. Most schools are not equipped to handle the mental health tsunami that's hitting our children. The American School Counselor Association recommends recommends one counselor for every 250 students, but the national average is closer to one counselor for every 400 students. In some districts, it's even worse. Research has shown there are school districts where one counselor is responsible for over 600 students. That's an overwhelming task. It's frankly impossible. Imagine a doctor or a nurse trying to care for 600 patients with the flu, or a single firefighter trying to put out fires in 600 homes. That's what we're asking our school counselors to do. And it's not just about the numbers. Many counselors are overwhelmed with paperwork, testing, and administrative tasks, leaving them little time for one-on-one mental health support. That means hundreds of anxious kids are slipping through the cracks every single day. As a doctor, that breaks my heart, because every intervention can mean the difference between a healthy, thriving child and a lifetime of struggle. Fact number 5, the link to suicide. This is the one that should make every parent's heart stop. Anxiety disorders triple the risk of suicide attempts in adolescents. Let me say that again. Anxiety disorders triple the risk of suicide. And suicide is now the second leading cause of death among teenagers in the United States. More kids die by their own hand than from cancer, heart disease, or car accidents. Imagine that. Anxiety is driving a crisis of loneliness and despair that's literally killing our kids. And too often it's happening in silence. Parents think it's just a phase, a bit of teenage drama, but beneath the surface, anxiety is driving thoughts of hopelessness, worthlessness, and despair. And by the time many parents find out, it's too late. Parents, I know this is hard to hear. Anxiety is not just worry. It's a disease that can steal your child's future, their sense of self, and even their life. We have to take this seriously. We need to talk to our kids, ask them how they're feeling, listen without judgment, limit social media to reasonable amounts of time, and encourage face-to-face interaction. Push schools to hire more counselors and provide better mental health education. Normalize therapy. Therapy isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Model healthy stress management as parents. Take breaks, exercise, talk about your own feelings. Because if we do nothing, we're leaving the door open for that silent predator to creep in and consume the next generation. And that's not a risk any of us should be willing to take. The good news is anxiety is treatable. Supportive parents, engaged schools, compassionate doctors, and open conversations can turn the tide. We can build a world where every child grows up safe, strong, and mentally healthy, because no parent should have to bury their child because of something we could have prevented. Thank you so much for listening. Please share this video with every parent you know, because knowledge is the first step in healing.